everyone. Hello. Okay, so I'm excited. I'm really excited because you know that I'm all about strategy. You know that one of my sayings is outrage is reactive, strategy is proactive. So the last video I did was actually breaking down the Stack Overflow developer survey for 2018. And I created screenshots and I really walked through, it was one of my longer videos, and I really walked through the challenges I really walked through how I assessed or evaluated the data. And one thing that was glaringly clear to me, and I wasn't, because I was so in the moment, I wasn't even aware of it until I was walking the dog today and it just hit me. Where other people see problems, I see opportunities. And so I've been, it's been a week. A week ago, I launched #causeascene. And there's some very exciting things that myself and my team are putting together that I'll talk to you about later. But what I realized from the survey results was a great opportunity for me. And that opportunity is to target my message to white men ages 18 to 34, because that is where the bottleneck seems to be with inclusion and diversity, underrepresented and marginalized individuals coming into tech. That is where 18 to 34, I'd say 18 to 25, 18 to 30 is that age where I have to tell you, school has not prepared you for life. It's an artificial environment. So you've exited school, high school, and some of you are in college. Some of you exited college without an understanding of what it takes to work and be successful in an information economy as opposed to an industrial economy. And again, my motto is, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? And I choose to believe that the majority of those individuals who completed that survey were just being honest. I don't believe that the majority of those people were intentionally being derogatory or whatever you assigned or whatever feeling or thoughts you had from the survey. Just the fact that Stack Overflow, out of over 100,000 respondents, the number of people who weren't males was about 9%. That says something. So instead of running away from this, instead of beating our chest and being outraged and upset, I want to take this head on. I want to take on helping young men, young white men, young privileged white men understand. And again, I want to talk about terms. Privilege is not, because some people get that confused. They think I'm saying, oh, they had it easy when they've had a hard life, and so they don't understand the connection there. They're like, how can you say I'm privileged when I didn't have money and my parents were on drugs? I've had the same experiences as a lot of people of color. When I talk about privilege, I'm talking about privilege equals access, regardless of which side of the tracks you came on, regardless of where you fall in the socioeconomic structure. If you are a person who identifies as white, you have privilege in our society. So that's what I want to address. And so because these young men are not being taught, I mean, I look at the World Economics Forums, and I recently posted the skills they say you need for success. These skills are not being taught in school. These skills are not even being addressed in schools. And so it's like, where do you get this? So I'm going to take on the challenge of helping young white men ages 18 to 34 figure this stuff out. A lot of them want to help in this. They see the things that are going wrong. They just don't know how to do it. And so what I'm calling for is my legal white men. And so some people have heard me say this and they laugh, but it's true. Why, as a black woman, would I try to recreate the wheel when I have white men who are privileged, who are willing to stand in and say, hey, Kim, this is how we think about this. I can connect you to somebody. I can help you get sponsorships, that kind of things. So what I'm doing is being intentional about my League of White Men. I actually have a Slack channel that I'm going to start using actively. But if you are a white male that is in my network and you care about what I'm doing, this message, and causing a scene, I need you to DM me with your email address so that I can send you a survey. Because what I want to know is I want to start organizing this. I haven't been doing this before. Where you fit in the League of White Men. Are you able to introduce me to people? Are you able to set up events? Because I'm about to start hitting the streets. Are you able to set up events for me to speak at? Are you able to bring sponsorships to this message? Are you able to be a liaison between another group of the group that I'm trying to get to, these young white men that I'm trying to get to? Are you able to do a number of things? And I'm going to put that survey together. But what I don't want you to do is speak for me. Because what I find is when people attempt, and they're doing it in good faith, try to articulate my words, they miss the message. So what they do is a lot of times they're uncomfortable in their environment, so they're not pushing back. So they water down my message, and we don't need it to be watered down. I need this to be straight in your face. But I'm coming at it from an educational perspective. I'm taking this back to when I was in the classroom. When I was in the classroom, and again, I'm certified special needs, so I've worked with all students. I've worked with students from gifted, what people consider gifted, all the way to people with mild intellectual disabilities. So people with some people on the a lot of people on the autism spectrum, and a lot of people who would not be considered moderately intellectually disabled, which means they aren't able to function for themselves. I had mild intellectually disabled students who weren't able gonna pass the SAT, but could go out and get jobs and be functional. So I've worked with all ages. I've worked with young people, old people. I've done everything. So I'm taking this back to the classroom. And in the classroom, when I found that there was an issue I needed to address, and particularly if it was a negative issue of affecting the culture of my classroom, what I did was immediately bring attention to it, address it, stop it. So this is a 3-part thing, and bring attention to it. Have a conversation about why that behavior, those thoughts, those whatever were inappropriate for this environment, and provide and work through some strategies and suggestions for how we move forward. And that's what the pieces that are missing in this space of when we're talking about inclusion and diversity, and we're talking about building better organizations and communities. This is a business issue. And so we need to talk about why, let's stop this behavior and why it's not appropriate. Have a conversation about, why it's not appropriate, and then provide strategies for how to move forward in a very appropriate manner for everybody involved. So that's what I'm going to be doing. If you are want to be a part of the League of White Men, and again, this is going to be this community telling me, showing the others in the community that you are a power ally, and you are willing to be uncomfortable so that we can be comfortable. So DM me on Twitter. I am Kim Creighton, so KIMCRAYTON 1. On Twitter, DM me with your email address, and I will send you a survey so we can figure out where you fit. I will also send you a link to join the Slack channel so we can start getting this movement, so we can start educating these young white men who again, I'm just going to assume they don't know better. Because if you haven't been taught, we can't assume. If only thing you've experienced is privilege, you can't wrap your mind around anybody else's experience. Just like I'm only a Black woman, and the only reason I can empathize and sympathize with other experiences is a lot of it was through education, particularly working with special needs, and and also having a master's in training and development, understanding about learners, and getting this doctorate in business administration, helping people build better businesses. So again, let's get this League of White Men rocking. Let's get this mission moving, and we start targeting white men privileged white men age 18 to 34. Thank you and have a wonderful day.